tell me about how you found Done in One, and also maybe more or less like just full arch. Like, how did you learn that this was something that you were going to need yourself? Was it homework? Did a dentist sit you down and look you straight in the eye and say you need to do something? What was that part of the beginning part of your journey?
Yeah, so the 3-tooth bridge that you saw, things weren't so bad then. But when that dentist did that job for me, he saw in his x-rays there were problems coming, especially in the lower arch. He said, you got a lot of these gum level fillings. That's where my teeth really went bad. I got these cavities along the gum line. And I remember a tech one time telling me when the doctor was out of earshot, this won't last. She said, just so you know,
wow,
there's like stress on this, when you have a cavity on the biting surface, then it'll last basically. But when it's on the side, just because the biting forces, there's flex and things like that, and these pop out eventually, it just might not last on you.
I don't know if this applies to you, so I'm going to cut you off again. I don't know if this applies to you, but I was thinking about it yesterday when we were speaking. We see, and again, this may not be applicable to you, but if I see, we'll say a triathlete, right? High-level triathlete, there are a lot of them that are in the tip-toppest, best shape of all time that have pretty wild tooth decay and these big, massive problems. And basically what it comes from is they breathe in and out of their mouth pretty heavy all the time. So their saliva is evaporated or not doing the job that it should. And they also consume most of their energy, and their hydration and things has sugar in it as well, which is another problem. But they also take it over long periods of time, right? They're in a 7-hour half Ironman. In that 7 hours, they're going to be constantly hitting with energy drinks and protein gummies and whatnot. So I don't know if that applies to you at all, but I was thinking that as I was looking back to your teeth and sort of the problems that you were facing, there's got to be some sort of answer that kind of gives a little bit more of a clear picture. And I was wondering, I was going to ask you today if you thought that contributed, that kind of higher level, you're on Gatorade and stuff quite frequently.
It's so funny you say that because I'd never made that connection, but I think there's probably a direct correlation there.
Mm-hmm.
I made it a point of pride to maintain the same body I had as a professional athlete that I have today. Everything still works the same. My knees, hips, ankles, all my joints are the same. I can still play a little bit. I've replaced soccer with tennis. I played competitive league tennis. I'm a 4.0 USTA player, which isn't bad for my age. But yeah, so we do camps all summer, 5 or 6 weeks of soccer camp where you're just sucking down Gatorade constantly.
Mm-hmm.
And then also I'm a little bit more of a soda hound than anybody should be. And I'm sort of using this as a wake-up call.
We all have vices.
Yeah, and it's I don't drink coffee, and so my wife calls soda my children's coffee. I'm using this as a wake-up call to move away from it, and I've replaced it with a protein shake in the mornings. But you mentioned, did someone set me straight, or was there a wake-up call? Yeah, the dentist that did that 3-tooth bridge said there's a lot going on in there that I can see. A lot of these fillings that you have along the gum line are loose. They have decay behind them. And in some cases, the tooth's going to go bad and need a root canal. I'm amazed it hasn't happened yet. It looks like the decay is into the nerve pulp. And if you can imagine a tree that's been half chopped down from one side, you just don't have any strength in there now. Mm-hmm. And these teeth are going to start breaking on you. And never has a person been so right, because it was an amazingly fast process. That would have been, I think, I was right before COVID. I had that bridge done. And in the first couple of years of COVID, it seemed like every couple of months I'd be eating something and a chunk of tooth would break, would break off in my mouth. I'd be eating something soft and suddenly I had something hard in my mouth. And so that can only happen so many times before you have to stop living in denial. So I then started looking into it. I knew, and he worked up. He's like, well, here's what it would cost. I'll give you an estimate for me to fix everything. And I think that was something around $23,000. And he even said, this is not necessarily the way to go. because this is mostly patches and fixes, and you probably need replacement teeth. You probably need implants for most of these. So then I thought, well,
Is that jarring emotionally, or had you already been beaten down sort of enough that it was just water under the bridge, a little bit more of the same?
It was almost soothing in a way. It was almost like telling me, the worst has happened. It has come to this. So now let's do
surrender.
Let's do what it takes to fix it,
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not afraid of needles. I'm not afraid of dentists. All those years, this stuff started going bad. It started going bad because I couldn't really afford to do as much as I should have done. So I really wanted to have an opportunity like this. I just wasn't in the position to do it.
And you're not alone.
I know. I wish everybody could do it. It's already here. I'm only day. Well, we'll get to that, but I know it's life changing. But so I did start looking into it, and then it just gets easy. Then you have a few months where nothing happens, and then there's no pain. And that was almost one of the concerning things for me, was like a tooth would break and there wasn't any pain. You would think if a tooth broke off at the gum line, you'd feel it, but I guess the nerve was already dead.
Yeah, just like you, the body, it more or less kind of just says, well, this is it.
This is
I mean,
it.
there's
Okay,
a scientific reason behind it, but
okay, interesting. A few months would go by, nothing would happen, and I would just sort of easy to live in denial for a while. But then there was just, there was one too many. And then I would get abscesses, because obviously there's active infection, and an abscess is a level of pain that doesn't really let you function.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you're supposed to be doing that day, or if you're trying to sleep or whatever, you're not. So it was really just about a month ago, or maybe 6 weeks ago, that I sort of told my wife, like, we're finally in a little bit of a decent place financially. We'd both been out of work for a little bit of time, but then both got jobs, and everything was okay. And I felt just racked with guilt, which is another thing I wonder if that holds people back.
Oh, absolutely.
Where they're like, they feel like they did this to themselves, they brought this on themselves, and now if they have a partner, they're implicating their partner's finances into this. Well, she knew without me telling her that I'd had these problems and been in pain and everything, and she said, let's do it. Let's get it done.